Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest CSI challenge layout. This is using case file 382 and I'm just showing you the image there and the two photos of my little nephew I'm going to use. So I picked out a load of Vicki Boutin papers from all of her ranges that fitted with the blue, green, yellow colourways, and I'm getting started straight away. I'm making an A4 layout this time because I like to challenge myself. And I'm going to make one that is like not a comic strip, but actually like based on reality. So when I looked at the evidence that was listed to use with this challenge, it said clouds, sun, kites, pinwheels, floral prints, and I decided I wanted to make like an outdoorsy layout, and I'm actually going to use this paper with the clouds on and make a copy of the outdoors, to have these pictures of my nephew in the park. So you can see me cutting shapes out of white copy paper. That is just so that I can kind of get in my mind where I would like all the elements to be. So rather than actually chopping into the Vicki Boutin paper, not that I don't have lots, but it's just I wanted just in my mind to get the visual. So that's why I'm just using a bit of copy paper, and I've got the case file picture there as a reference at the top, and I'm going to work out what I want. So I've got clouds, sun, kites, and I've got some like grassy fieldy bits at the bottom here. So I've gone through and picked out all my bits of paper. I think there's only one of them that's actually a whole sheet, and I'm going to pick the ones that match colour wise the best, and I'm going to start to actually put this together using the copy paper bits as templates. So I've done the hard work really. I'm now just picking the colours that I want. So I'm just making a sun there to go behind these clouds. So it's all very cartoony. I think that's the word that I'm looking for. So I'm just drawing around some of these rays, and I'm going to cut them out and put them into position. So these are some embossing folders, and I've embossed some white card there, and I'm going to use those to cut out my clouds. It's not particularly listed on the evidence. It does say dots, and this is a dotty embossing folder, but I just wanted to add some texture to the clouds. So I'm just going to cut those out now I've embossed that paper. And actually, that's what I love about these challenges. Sometimes it actually makes me look at my stash a little bit differently, or dig out something that I've not used for some time. So I can't tell you the last time I used an embossing folder before this layout, but I was really pleased that I did, and I like the texture that it added. And then I think, why don't I do it more often? But I'm sure we're all the same like that, and we have stash that we don't touch as often as others, or we have go-to things. So I'm just getting these bits into position. And the next thing is I actually wanted to get my title. So these are all of this is Vicki Boutin from all of her ranges. Goodness knows how many she's had now. I really do like her papers and embellishments. So I tend to keep all of them together in a box, so I can't always tell you which range it was from. So I've got the title that I want, Part Life, just like the Blur song. And now I'm going to look at cutting out some of the kites to go on over the sky and the clouds there. Now, if you are looking for a challenge with your scrapbooking, CSI is a fabulous one to try. It's twice a month. There is another case file. You'll find a Facebook group and a blog and an Instagram page. So there's lots of places to find out all about it. As I say, 2 challenges, 2 case files a month, and there are prizes as well if you upload to the Facebook group, and I'd really recommend it. It's a really good way of challenging yourself to use older stash maybe, or use things you don't normally use. So it's just a bit of fun, but certainly gets your brain thinking, particularly when it's lists the evidence, and there's a testimony as well. And it gives you a good idea with the colour they like you to use, and there's an image as well, so lots and lots of inspiration. So I've cut out all the bits I need, and I'm just going to come in now with some ink daubers and just ink some of these pieces up just to give some definition to the edges. These are my distress inks, the mini ones that I keep in my trolley. So this video was actually filmed at a retreat, which is unusual for me. This is the first retreat I've ever actually done some filming at, so you'll see there's a different background if you're used to my videos, yeah, it went really well actually, and I certainly would think about taking my camera on tour again because it worked really well. So I'm just, but I'm working in a slightly smaller space than normal, so it just feels a bit messy when I watch it back, but I'm quite messy anyway. So I'm just going to start to get this stuck down. I've decided to use the ink daubers to colour the alphas as well, so I'm just going to go around these clouds with a bit of a greyy blue colour just to give them more definition. But each time I change colour, I'm actually going to add a bit more to the alphas as well. I really like how this is coming together. It's quite simple, but sometimes that's, more effective. And it's not my style, but it's always worth trying something new. So you'll see that the alphas are stuck onto wax paper. That's just so I can move them around and find out exactly where I'd like them to be in the end. I'm not very good at committing and sticking stuff down. It does always take me a while. That's why you'll find my videos are always speeded up, but I get there in the end. So I'm just now looking at the kite position because I'm going to add some tails to those kites, and I will probably add those in pencil first before I I'm going to sew them eventually. So I'm just going to hand draw some of those tails when I know where these kites are going to be. I'm only drawing it lightly so I can rub out the lines should I make any mistakes. I just like to get the curve of them right. In fact, here I come in with the rubber. Because once I've obviously commit and put the holes in, there's no going back. So I just want to make sure that is right. So I'm just checking out my title again, making sure I'm happy with the placement of everything, because we're not far off finished really. It's just a bit of titivating to go. So I've decided I'm going to pop the letters on a bit of foam so they're above the photograph. So I'm just cutting up some foam pads just to add on the back of all the letters. So if you like what you see in my videos, I'd be really appreciated if you could give it a thumbs up, or you could subscribe to my channel. There's always going to be new videos coming with lots of different styles. As I say, this is really not what I would normally make, but it really fitted the challenge, and I really do like the way it's finished in the end. You will see when you see the final image that there are a few little bits and pieces been added, just a few bows and a couple of extra die cut clouds. That's, as I say, I did this as a retreat, and when I brought it home I just added a couple of small touches before I photographed it to add to this video. So I'm just going to put those holes in now, and I'm just going to rub out the pencil lines so that keeps the white thread nice and clean. Sometimes I find that if you leave the pencil lines there, it dirties it a little bit as you sew. This is fine crochet thread, so I don't need to split it or anything. And I'm just using a large-eyed needle just to sew in backstitch in white. I think there's enough going on colours-wise, so I've done that off camera, and I've trimmed the clouds at the end. So here's the full image with the added little bits. Really pleased with how this looks. Do check out the CSI challenges. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back to this channel soon. Bye for now.